Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Hybridicious. So this week I decided to do a very heavily requested team. It's basically to make a team around one certain expensive player, whether that be a team of the year or a man of the match card. So I have been really reluctant to build this team because in previous experiences with expensive players, I have had very disappointing times. You buy a player for 150,000 or more coins, and you set these really enormous expectations. You want them to score every game. You're expecting every pass to be perfect, and realistically, they'll never live up to those expectations. So really, that's my fault. I'm expecting too much from the players. And realistically, when you do have a team of the year card, they are upgraded, but it's not upgraded to the point where they are, 20, 30 times better than their regular counterpart. So I have, finally caved in and decided to make this team. It was heavily requested, and finally giving you guys what you wanted. Now, of course, I also had a few requests to use some Mexican players. I don't believe I've done this in the past, and the Mexican League, so I made sure to incorporate that in today's hybrid. So let's get started with the player explanations. And in that we have Ocho, I believe it's pronounced Ocho. Now I know this guy does in fact have an inform, but he was one of the first inform cards released into Ultimate Team, and basically what that means, he's very rare. There are hoarders who like to buy players and keep them, and that kind of decreases the amount of cards in circulation. So of course that makes it very easy to price fix the player, which he in fact is right now. I believe he's at around 28,000 coins. So what I wanted to do was, buy the player, try him out, and if I saw one for cheap, I would buy it and definitely upgrade. I was looking for under 20,000. Did not find one, but realistically, guys, this guy was definitely good enough. He played like an 80, 82 rated keeper. Probably one of the better keepers I've used in the Liga 1. Of course, only 6 foot, not that tall. You're looking at his stats, 68 handling. That was his biggest problem. In certain situations, let's say a long shot was coming at him, as opposed to grabbing the ball or maybe fisting it out or something, he'd go on his knees for some reason and kind of like let it hit him and kind of bounce off. Now, of course, he is in fact making the save, stopping the ball from going inside the net. But what this allows is, a rebound, and sometimes the rebound did land to another player. And of course, that's really annoying. But he did make up for it, of course, a few situations. He is an acrobatic keeper, and that really allows him to excel in the one-on-one situations. For example, I remember one moment specifically, Eto went on one-on-one with him, and I knew for sure this was going on. This is 90th minute. I would have probably lost the game or disconnected. I'm not exactly sure. But he made a ridiculous save. I ended up going into overtime and winning the game. So he actually won me a few games. I remember some great saves from this guy. So very surprising. I'd go as far as saying he was the surprise player of the team. Played a lot better than expected. And then we move on to the left center back. And in this position, we have Alex, the Brazilian center back from PSG. Now, of course, he's 6'2", so he's capable of dealing with the aerial crosses and the aerial types of attacks. And of course, I only let in a few headed goals, and that is my weak spot. So I was very happy with the way he played and the way he defended against crosses. Now, 37,000 coins, very, very cheap for an 86 rated Brazilian center back. Now, of course, the reason why he is so cheap, or why I believe, is because there are a lot of Brazilian counterparts who have more pace, like your inform Felipe Santana and your second inform Ronaldo, who have 78, 80 pace, and it's a lot more pleasing knowing that your defender, he's capable of catching up with the faster players. But I did use a custom formation with this team, and honestly, his positioning, his strength, and his tackling abilities really made up for the pace which he may have lacked. Now, of course, I decided to pair him up with a fast center back, as you guys will see in a few seconds. And of course, 80 shooting, very high shooting stat for an informed center back. I believe he has 99 free kick accuracy, 99 shot power, and 98 long shots. Excuse me, actually, my PVR is going out right now. Stupid PVR. Oh, there we go. All right, so back here we are. So yeah, he has a great shot, and I believe I scored a skill run with him. Only 2-star skill moves, but he was very fun to use, going forward, and very solid defensively. Definitely worth the 37,000 coins. If anything, he's definitely undervalued. And then we move on to Araujo. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong. Once again, 6'2", same height as Alex, so very good at defending the corners. Decent jumper. Now 2,000 coins. I found that the silver Mexican players who are in the more desirable formations like the 4-3-3 and the 4-back formations are really expensive. So I'm sure I could probably sell them off for 2.5k and not make a loss on them. Now we look at his stats. 75 pace, 75 defending, pretty good for a 69 rated player, but there are a lot of different defenders who do have better stats, so you're not overly impressed. Well, guys, in game, 81 sprint speed and 91 strength. Those are some insane stats, guys. I have never seen a silver center back with those stats. I have tried the best of the best with your Manuels, your Canoes, and this guy definitely deserves a spot. Is one of the best silver center backs in this game, if not the best. He has the height, the pace, the strength, the marking, the tactical awareness, every aspect of a center back which you want, this guy possesses. Now, do not be put off by his rating. I believe it's a bit lower because he does lack in the offensive department. But realistically, guys, you do not need any offensive stats on the center back. Now, it's nice to have a high dribbling and passing stat because that does help you, pass it around and obviously not lose the ball when a striker rushes you. But definitely a really good player, and I was really surprised at how well he played. And then we move on to Perez. Now, Perez, once again, very, very good defensively. All right, I apologize about that. That was another interruption in my commentary. My cat came in and it started meowing, so I had to feed it. So we are back. Anyways, I was talking about Perez, and I don't think I mentioned his pace. He does have 90 pace, 90 sprint speed in game, decent defending stats. Once again, very fun player to use in terms of him going up and down the pitch. I did give him a medium attacking work rate, and which that allowed him to do was, kind of go forward in certain situations, overlap the right center mid and sometimes the right wing, get across and maybe cut in with a few step overs. And he actually did score a long shot, so he was definitely a very fun player. And for 1,000 coins, you really can't go wrong. And then we move on to the left back. Now, Tien, I won't say too much about him. I bought him for chemistry purposes. He did give Alex that 9 chemistry, which is really important. Of course, only 400 coins, so there's not too much expectation from this guy. But he was very solid defensively. 70, I believe 80 marking and 80 stand tackle. His sprint speed was in the 70s, but he was very reliable, and that's something I look for my fullbacks. I always want them to be back in position and, capable of making that tackle and always, just making the interceptions and stopping players, or at least contesting the crosses, making it difficult for the wingers to get that ball in. So very, very good for the price. And let's move on to the center mid. And in this position, we had Rosine, one of my favorite silver players in this game. He is a high work rate midfielder, so he's more of a box-to-box type player. Now, preferably in a 4-3-3 or 4-3-1-2 formation. Basically, any formation with 3 midfielders, I like to have a box-to-box, an attacking, and a defensive. So he fit that box-to-box role perfectly. Of course, you're looking at his stats. 86 pace, he was very fast, and in certain situations, he'd come back on defense, make a tackle, go forward, and just make a really good through ball to one of my attackers, which would eventually lead to a goal or an opportunity on net. So a really fun player to use, but he is kind of expensive. If you're patient, you could probably get him for a lot cheaper, but of course, I just wanted to build the team and play. And then we move on to the informed Dos Santos, and spoiler alert, this guy was the best player on the team. Of course, not the expensive player, only 23,000 coins. Now, I believe I got a very good deal with him. Of course, as a center mid in a 4-3-3 formation, you're looking for around 30,000 plus. I got a very, very good deal. I believe I bought him with 59 minutes remaining as a buy now. So I got very fortunate with him. And of course, looking at his stats, very good pace, good shooting, 4-star skill moves, and he does have 90 dribbling in game. So a very fun little player to use on offense, and really, really good volleys, as you guys will see in the goals. Spoiler alert, maybe a volley, maybe. And then we move on to Diarra, and as you guys can see, 6'3". Oh my goodness, this guy was the defensive wall of the team. Like I said, I like to have a defensive-minded player along with the box-to-box, and this guy was a brick wall. 6'3", 94 strength, 94 jumping, and what I really liked about him was I could basically, kick the ball up with my goalie, and he would win every header in the midfield, directed to a striker or a midfielder, and kind of give me that position in the midfield, as opposed to kicking it up to my defenders and kind of working the way up. So it was a nice way to get on offense a bit quicker, maybe catch my opponent off guard and get some quick one-on-ones with the goalie. So definitely a great player. Now, he does lack a little in pace, but I found that Rosine made up for that. If there was a player who got by Diarra, not too many times did that happen, but if they did, Rosine with 86 pace, able to catch up to that player, make the tackle, or even if he doesn't tackle him, he might push him or shrug him, kind of give him a difficult time, and of course my center backs would clean up the mess, and I would go back on offense. So a very good player, and for, I believe, 19,000 coins, well worth that price. And then we move on to the man of the match, Ayu. 33,000 coins. I'm not exactly sure how great of a deal that was. I bought him as a left wing in a 4-3-3, and I believe he is set as a left middle, so he might be a bit more expensive. I'm not exactly sure on this one, but as you guys can see, he is more suited as a left middle, even maybe a left back. He does have the defensive capabilities and the heading stat to play left back. More of a Bale type player in a sense that he could play anywhere on the left side of the field. And he was very good at the left wing, but he only has 3-star skill moves, and that was kind of a letdown. I like the skill. I like to use, the chops, the Berba spins. But of course, roulettes work very well with them. Step overs, very effective. And 74 shooting was a complete lie. In my opinion, he was the best shooter on the team. His left foot was lethal. He scored some goals from some really awkward angles, whether that be a finesse shot or a power shot. And in some situations, I'd shoot it just right at the goalie, and it'd either, bounce off the goalie and go in, or maybe hit the goalie, go for a rebound, and one of my players would clean up the mess. So a very fun player, and also very strong. I believe he had 82 strength, which gave some left backs or some right backs a very difficult time. Now of course I did play him on both sides of the field because he is left-footed, and he worked out quite well. So the next player is Benitez, and if you look at his goal scoring record, it seems that everyone who plays with this guy thoroughly enjoys him. Now I did play 14 games and I disconnected every game but one. So of course I lowered that goal scoring record, but when I did get him, I really wanted to show you it was a 1-to-1 ratio, which is really good for any player. Maybe some good player had it, maybe some average player. But for a 1-on-1 ratio, it's very rare to see on a striker, especially with 132 games played. So as you guys can see, 14,000 coins, very cheap. Now I haven't tried his regular card, so I can't really tell you how much of an upgrade the inform is, but he is very fun to use. And once again, 75 shooting, complete lie. He has 87 finishing in game, 96 agility, so a very fast player, and of course 4-star skill moves. So another really fun player to use on offense. Of course, I did switch him around. I played, Ayu sometimes at the left wing or the right wing, and Benitez at the left wing and the right wing. So he was a very good player. And yeah, very fun player to use. And then finally, guys, we have the player which I decided to give up quite a bit of coins to buy. Of course, I'm not a big fan of spending all my money on one player, but you guys asked for it, so I decided to do it. And we have Valencia, the Team of the Year version. Now, guys, I apologize. Anyone who does watch my episodes or my series knows I don't go on a full-out rant on a player. But honestly, guys, I absolutely hated him. Now, personally, I believe it was my fault for picking Valencia. He doesn't really match my playstyle. I should have checked. Poor finishing, 2-star weak foot, not really good offensively. But if you are looking to buy him, don't take this as a kind of indication of how good he is, because I'm not using him the right way. As you guys can see, his stats, very fast, very good at passing, very good at dribbling. Realistically, he's more suited beside a target man. Maybe you have a Team of the Year Giroud and you want a Valencia because he's the perfect player. 98 sprint speed, 99 crossing, and 99 curve. This guy is the perfect right wing if you are looking to cross the ball with a target man. Now in terms of cutting in and scoring, I tried this guy at left wing, I tried him at striker, I tried him at right wing. Nothing worked. 85 shooting, complete lie. His shooting was such a letdown for me. Many situations I'd go on a skill run, beat a few players, and finally, like a one-on-one situation. And you're gonna miss occasionally. That's acceptable. I accept that he will, occasionally miss. Maybe the goalie saves it, but he never finished. And for a player for 160,000, you are expecting some better finishing. So overall, not a big fan. Definitely not worth the coins in my opinion. But don't take this as a review for a player who enjoys to cross the ball. Now you guys have seen, maybe you might have noticed that I did have the regular Valencia, and I don't know why, guys. I decided to buy the regular Valencia because everyone's talking about this handicap, and the Team of the Year players are sometimes not as good as the regular card. And I wanted to see if that held true, if that was true in this situation. And I don't know what to say, guys. It was true in this situation. I bought the regular Valencia, as you guys can see, 1.5k. Checking out his stats, not that impressive. First game scores a hat trick, next game scores 4 goals. I don't know really what to say. I mean, he played so much better. It kind of felt like this was the Team of the Year card and the other one was the regular version. Now, this isn't necessarily handicap. In no way am I saying it's handicap. Personally, I don't believe in handicap. It might be more of a mental thing, in my opinion. I bought the Valencia for 160,000 coins. I set these really high expectations. I heard some really great reviews about this guy. So going into a game, I did expect a lot. And once he did, kind of disappoint me, and I decided to, buy the lower rated card, I had absolutely no expectations for the regular card. So realistically, anything he did, whether it's a pass or a goal, really impressed me because I had no expectations. So it could be more of a mental thing as opposed to the player playing, because obviously his stats are better. And realistically, why would EA make Team of the Year cards worse? I really don't see the point in that. There really is no value. So overall, a very good team. Now, if you are building the team, I would try the regular Valencia. If you do want to upgrade, go for it. But in my opinion, or from personal experiences, obviously, I do not think he's worth the coins. So let's move on to the goals. Okay, so despite the difficulties with Valencia, I really don't want to keep talking about that. I don't know why I keep bringing that up. This was a very good team, definitely a contender for one of the best hybrids I have built this year. And that goal you guys just saw with the through ball from Benitez, feeding Ayu, who managed to stay onside. Very good job staying onside there. Most situations you'll find that strikers kind of sway off, but he stays onside. Great ball control and dribbling stats to allow him to beat the goalie and then just finish it perfectly. And that's basically how the entire team played, with the exception of Valencia, who you see score a goal there, but that was his regular card. I believe I scored one goal with the Team of the Year, one measly goal for 160k coins, and I'm pretty sure it was a rebound too, so it wasn't even a good goal. Now, once again, if you are looking to buy the Team of the Year version, go ahead. Do not use my review. Maybe I wasn't very good with him, or maybe my expectations are way too high. But once again, not a very good player in my opinion. But once again, if you do have a different playstyle, if you want to use them as a main striker, go for it. Don't let my opinion hold you back. Now, usually I would go into certain aspects of the team, but overall, very good team. Definitely recommend it. One of my favorite hybrids. One thing I did want to talk about was maybe another series on my channel. Now, I know you guys really love the Hybridicious series, and I love making it, but I really don't want to be like a one-trick pony. Like here's Ultimate Team Polish with the Hybridicious. I want something else, and I was thinking of maybe like a Road to Glory type series, not a Road to Glory, but maybe something like a Road to Glory, including hybrids. I still want to make hybrid squads. I love playing, but I just want to do a series where you guys can follow along, and it's something different from my channel. Of course, you guys love the Hybridicious series, but I don't want to keep doing it to the point where it gets boring, or I do it too often, or the worst part would be if I get bored of it, because then I won't start uploading. So I think I really do need another series. So if you guys have any recommendations, I'll consider everything. I'll leave a comment, or if you want to contact me a bit quicker, or maybe make sure it does get to me, follow me on Twitter. I believe the link will be in the description below. So once again, I'm looking for all types of series. It does not have to be a Road to Glory. That was just a suggestion that I have made. As you guys will see right here, Dos Santos showing off his disgusting volley. Look at that. Turning nothing into something. That was a completely dead play until he struck that right into the back of the net. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this series and the episode, and I hope you guys have yourselves a wonderful day, and I will finish it off with that skill run from Alex. What a beast.